have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Only $49.99 guaranteed. Because don't just cut down, but stop smoking. In addition, lose all the weight 100% guaranteed with Mark Patrick Seminars. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. That's right. Seminar Tuesday, February 25th at the Wyndham Garden, formerly the Holiday Inn in Hopkinsville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before the seminar. Info at markpatrickseminars.com.
Howdy, folks. Right now, come into KFC and get a free chocolate cake with a 10-piece meal. It's free. It's free chocolate cake. How else can I say it? It's a whole chocolate cake that you don't pay any additional money for. See, that's the arrangement. I don't know how else to explain this. You buy a 10-piece bucket meal. I slide an actual chocolate cake made of real actual cake across the counter. You take it, and we both go our merry ways. So come on down to KFC. Get your free cake today. It's finger-licking good. Offer excludes 12-piece tenders meal, limited time only, participating locations.
There's an advantage in being the home team. You know who Emma Talley, Jake Lewis, and Pat Gates are. You've seen the wall around Butler Stadium and have heard of the Caldwell Crazies. Trice Hughes, we're your home team. Here's our home team deal of the week.
2018 Buick Regal, 13,000 miles, Trice priced at $269 per month for 72 months.
Get this home team deal of the week at Trice Hughes. Find us on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or tricehughes.com.
Are you looking to shed those extra holiday pounds? Do you tend to gain pounds back after dietary loss? Dr. Raymond Quattro with Health First is board certified in weight loss medicine and has guided many patients through a successful weight loss and showed them how to keep the weight off. He has extensive experience in the use of new weight loss medication and is well versed in the science behind a successful weight loss program. Call 905-4084 to schedule a consultation. At Health First Community Health Center, your health is our first concern.
Hey guys, it's Brittany McGregor with Farmers Bank, and I want to fill you in on some things that you may not know about. Our drive-thru at our main office is open at 7:30 until 4:30, Monday through Thursday, and on Friday we're open till 6. We're always looking for ways to be more convenient for you, so if you're unable to catch us during our normal hours, don't worry. At our Highway 62 and Edible branches, you can make your deposits at the ATM and have access to your funds immediately. Stop by and see us at Farmers Bank and Trust Company, member FDIC. Deposits may not be available for immediate credit.
Looking for a job that can lead to a career? What about a job with competitive pay and fixed schedules? That's not even the best part. At Bridgestone Metalfa in Clarksville, team members earn a competitive compensation package with 2 increases in the first year, quarterly bonuses, quarterly profit sharing, and start day 1 with a full benefits package, medical, dental, vision, life insurance, and more. Inquire today and start your career.
Bridgestone Metalfa, serving society with superior quality.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk is on the air this morning. And Ty, we've got us a friend in the house this morning, and tell everybody who it is.
It's Joanne from Midway Baptist Church, and lots of good stuff going on out at Midway. You guys have a heck of a ministry out there, and it's music, it's youth, and Joanne is here to tell us about all the great stuff going on out there.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Like I said, I'm the youth leader at Midway Baptist Church, and
congratulations, by the way. That's a really neat thing.
I love it. I truly feel like I was called to work with youth. I've loved youth ever since I was a little girl, and I just feel like it's something I was meant to do.
And that's not something everybody can do, by the way. So congratulations.
It takes patience, that's for sure sometimes. But I love each of my youth, and they're like mine. You know, I tell them I don't have kids of my own, but God bless me with thousands of youth out there, you know, or any youth that comes in my contact, I feel like they're mine. So he blessed me with a bunch.
That's wonderful.
And everything.
How many do you have out there right now? Do you know, roughly, as far as what I know it ebbs and flows, but you have them from multiple ages. I know that's what's neat.
We start, our youngest one's probably 3. And we go up to high school kids. And on a given, we have usually 20, 25.
Yeah,
so
that's a
good manageable amount.
Especially for a country church.
Yeah, because we're a small country church, but we do really well.
You all have a beautiful church, though, I will say. It is, I know you call it a small, it doesn't feel small when you're there, though. It's got a real majestic feel to it.
I know a lot of people
gorgeous.
have said when they top the hill, they don't expect to see a beautiful brick church out in the country like that, and we're just really proud of our church.
Well, on the inside, it's got such a history to it that it feels like it's just it's hard to explain. You need to go out and visit them out at Midway.
And tell us where it
beautiful.
is.
It's on Highway 126, 4184 Highway 126. It's out like you're going to Davis's greenhouse. When you get to the Y, go to your left, and it's right there. You can't miss it.
Well, tell us all about what all you're doing.
Well, right now we have going on our youth. I'm really proud of them for this. We did this last year too. We had a winter youth revival. Last year it was called Ignite. This year they're going to call it Let Your Light Shine, or simply Shine. And they want to encourage the youth to shine for Jesus. And it's based on Matthew 16:5. And it's open to the whole association. All the youth are invited. We gear it towards 6th grade and up, but any age is welcome to come, adults too, because you just never know what the Lord has in store for you. And last year there was 11 that was saved.
Wow.
So that some may say, well, that's not very many, but to us, if even one was saved, that's a blessing. And last year, the youth came to me, and they wanted to do something big. They was like, I know we may be a small church, but we want to do something. We want to get people involved. We want kids our age involved. So I said, well, what do y'all have in mind? And they was like, can we do some type of rally? So they took this whole week. We do it 4 nights. We don't do the Wednesday night because we don't want to take our Sunday night, because we don't want to take people away from their church. We don't feel like that's right to take other people away from their church if they go somewhere. So we decided to do 4 nights, and they planned the whole event. The youth did it. They designed T-shirts. They got the speakers. They actually even contacted the speakers. So they did it all. I kind of just
think when they do that, and that you really let them get in the planning and jump in and do that kind of stuff, what we've always noticed is they kind of really do take off with it, and it's like they take a certain ownership of it.
Yeah, and they, like I said, they contacted the speakers, they contacted the singers, they took off with it, and they came to me again this year, and they was like, can we do it again? And I was like, well, yeah. So I went to our church and I said, they want to do it again. What do y'all think? And they was like, well, it was a success last year, and I don't see why they can't do it again. So we went with it again this year. And like I said, we picked a new theme. And then, like I said, it's Let Your Light Shine. And it's going to be February the 24th, 25th, 27th, and 28th. And it'll be 6:30 each night. And our speakers are going to be Brother Aaron Brown. He used to be in our association. Now he's moved to Marion. And then we've got Brother Danny Sherrill, which he's the youth consultant for this association. And then we got Brother Ryan Scott. And then we've got Jimmy Dyer.
Wow.
He's going to speak on Friday night. So
and Scott's a great musician too.
Oh yeah.
He's not
Ryan
only
Scott,
can he speak, he's a good musician.
And then Nicole and Daniel Adams are going to do our music.
Okay.
Boy, you got a power lineup there.
No kidding.
Yeah, so we're excited and everything. We kept trying to find somebody for the Friday night, and a lot of the kids said, well, what about Jimmy Dyer? And I was like, well, I'm fine with it, because I think the world of Mr. Dyer. He was a teacher of mine, and I was always very inspired by Mr. Dyer, and he was always so faith-driven, and I was just really touched by him in school. So he said, when we contacted him, the first thing he said was, let me pray about it. He said, I've never been given an opportunity like this. He said, except for, speaking at Backlard and stuff like that. So that really, I admired that he was willing to pray about it. So that kind of touched my heart that he was willing to pray about it. So, but he texted us back and said he was on board. So we're really excited. And
well, he's one of those guys that's just so good with kids, and it will go out of his way to help, just about anybody that I've ever noticed. And he would even, when he was kind of subbing on the special needs bus, they all love him. And I think that takes a special kind of person. And so he's just fantastic. I think that's going to be good.
And like I said,
you may be starting something there. You know that, right?
I know. Like I said, this is our second year, so we'll see how it goes, and it may be continued next year. We're hoping. And I told them, I said, as long as y'all are willing to do this, we'll do it. And like I said, they jumped on board, and they contacted all the speakers this year, and they got the singer again, and they designed a T-shirt. We have two T-shirt designs this year. Last year they went with one design, but this year they really got on board and they did two different T-shirts. So
Well, now, are they selling those?
we are. We have two T-shirt designs. You can see them on Facebook. We have a Midway Baptist Church Facebook page, and you can see them on there. And they're, like I said, both designs are on there. They're $12 a piece and everything. So you can,
That's not bad at all.
no. So
And that will go to further youth activities there at Midway Baptist Church. Okay.
And then how do they, get a hold of you to order one? Or
you can contact me, John McAllister, at either 270-365-2133 or 270-963-0552, or you can find me on Facebook too, or just send a message to the church page too, and I can get it wrote down.
Well, I'll tell you, your winter revival was great last year, and we're looking forward to it. Remind us of those dates again.
It is February the 24th, 25th, 27th, and 28th.
And now, if some of the youth groups around want to get together and come out as a group, as a church group, as a Sunday school class, would that be all right?
That would be great. The more the merrier.
I guarantee you they'll make room for you.
That's right. I know last year our numbers went, the first night we had like 108, and then we went anywhere from to like 120. And I even issued a challenge for the last night. I said if we could get like 150, I would let them throw whipped cream in my face.
Oh,
and
well,
they got so close, and they were like so disappointed that they didn't get it. And I told them, I said, I'll tell you what. I said, since y'all worked so hard on this and it was such a success, I'll let you go on and do it. So they were so excited. That last night we had pizza afterward. The Optimist Club sponsored us pizza, and we had it. And they threw the whipped cream in my face, and they had a ball.
I was going to say, you got to watch that. Our pastor did a challenge one time about a pie throwing thing where we could, and his 90-year-old daddy threw it at him. So, I mean, you got to watch those pies and that whipped cream.
I told him, I said, with the whipped cream, I said, where's the chocolate, though? I want some chocolate in there.
Yeah.
Caramel.
There you go.
And everything. But they had a ball and everything, and I'm really proud of my youth and all the work they put into it. It makes me proud to see them on fire for the Lord and to just jump in there and take charge the way they
roles,
have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a lot of energy. They might as well put it towards something
That's
good,
right.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Joanne McAllister from Midway Baptist Church, of course, right outside of Princeton. And again, remind them of the T-shirts and how to get a hold of you.
All right. Like I said, the T-shirts are $12, and you can get them, like I said, on Facebook. You can go to our Midway Baptist Church page or contact me at 270-365-2133 or 270-963-0552.
Well, bless their hearts. We sure do appreciate them and you and all the hard work that goes into it. And we're going to say hi to Gracie this morning in case she's listening or she's watching. You wave at her. Make sure that we see that. Because evidently she wanted to come this morning and she couldn't come.
Yeah,
so we want to make sure we say
butterfly.
hi.
She would,
Nothing like her Uncle Wesley at all.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No, she's a little social butterfly. She would have took over this interview. She would have been in control.
That's my girl. Hey, come on out and see them at the youth and get maybe get a group of kids out to go out there. And again, Joanne McAllister, we appreciate it here on Coffee Talk. Stick around. I see somebody else that just walked in. I see a Roy Jean Rogers, and I bet there's a heck of a talk coming up. 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Yes, I can picture it now. There you are, kicked back in your brand new reclining sofa, watching the big game with your nearly $1,400 in free furniture. Enter the Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress Big Game, Big Comfort giveaway now. Go to WPKYOnline.com. We'll announce the winner Wednesday, January 29th.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
Imagine if there were a place you could go to buy gift certificates to some of the best businesses in town. Now, imagine all those great gift certificates priced 30%, 35%, 40%, and at times over 60% or more off retail every day of the week. The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to WPKYOnline.com.
And here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Fog and drizzle this morning. Thunderstorms possible after lunch. High 42. Now tonight, scattered light rain. A few flurries are actually possible, but no real accumulation. Low 31. Tomorrow, cloudy, high 39. And then on Sunday, 30% chance of rain. I can't spit that out. High 43. It is 42 and pretty well going to sit there all day. 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique.
What does your morning sound like?
Morning, Al.
Next stop, 32nd Street.
Welcome to McDonald's.
Hi, can I get an Egg McMuffin, please?
Here's to making your morning routine a little better with a delicious breakfast from McDonald's.
There's an advantage in being the home team. You know who Emma Talley, Jake Lewis, and Pat Gates are. You've seen the wall around Butler Stadium and have heard of the Caldwell Crazies. Trice Hughes, we're your home team. Here's our home team deal of the week.
2018 Buick Regal, 13,000 miles, Trice priced at $269 per month for 72 months.
Get this home team deal of the week at Trice Hughes. Find us on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or tricehughes.com.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Roy Gene Rogers is in the house.
I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I gave him some bad news a minute ago. I try to do that right before I turn on the mic so he can't throw anything at me. Remember, we're on camera. You can't throw anything at me.
Right.
Now, Eli is not feeling well over the last couple of days. I think that's kind of gone around.
It is. I mean, you got a lot of schools in eastern Kentucky that are actually closed down.
Right.
It's probably working its way toward us here. So.
Well, I always call them my little germ magnets. That's
yeah,
kids are gonna get it one way or the other.
That's it.
So I think he's feeling a little bit better, though, this morning. Of course, Roy Gene Rogers is our basketball coach for our Special Olympics right here in Caldwell County. And we just had what I would call an extraordinary success of a tournament.
Oh, it was. Words really can't describe it. I sent you the video of what had been taken. And let me go back a little bit. In November, the three of us were right here, just about like we are right now, and we were talking about the increase in numbers that we had for our Special Olympics here in Caldwell County.
Because we doubled at least.
We doubled the players, and we added 4 cheerleaders. And Vicki and I had talked the night before about purchasing uniforms, and we were talking about just getting the plain uniforms for our players. And it was Hayden Cooper. He was first. Yep. Of course, his wife works out there at the elementary school. And then David Rogers. And then when I walked out, Dan Van Hoosier gave me some money. And then Mr. Lee Oliver. The next day, the Elks Club and the Optimist Club all chipped in. And Vicki took a look, and she said, hey, we can use some of the uniforms that we've got from years past, or 2 years. They were 2 years old. And we ended up getting all new uniforms for those players and for our cheerleaders and warm-ups. So the power of radio, we reached out, and you've seen them. Eli's got one.
Mm-hmm.
But
really nice.
we've got new uniforms for our new players, and we got warm-ups for all our players.
Mm-hmm. They look sharp,
they
too.
Do. Well, they're reversible. I mean, the uniforms are high school quality uniforms, and they're reversible. And it was just fantastic. You might have heard I was talking about the power of radio and how it reached out, and how this community has reached out to our Special Olympics.
Don't get me wrong. It's kind of hard to shock Ty and I a lot of times because we're so used to things kind of going on the fly, and it's kind of hard to shock us. I was speechless that morning. I had no no idea. It wasn't planned, and I was bawling, and I think Roy Jean was crying. Everybody was crying and speechless pretty well. And I'll tell you, the kids appreciate it more than what you can imagine. They feel so proud when they put on those uniforms and walk in that building. You can tell that they feel a sense of pride.
It's dressing for success. It's like anything. Whether you go into an interview, whether you're playing a sport, when you've got your good looking duds on, I mean, that just lifts you up just a little bit more.
And they are. I mean, if you go and you look, and we could share a lot of pictures. We've got an album now. Melinda, she took a lot of pictures, her and others. She tells me to give others credit as well, but I think we've got nearly 2,000 pictures of just Saturday.
There's several albums just of Saturday, but there's 826 in just one album. I told Roy Jean the other day, I said, this has got to be a record of some sort.
We had 16 teams, over 200 players and coaches. We had 14 games. First game started at 7:15. And with that many games, we had one overtime game, and we ended up, the last game was supposed to start at 5, and it started about 5:15. So we had a full day. You were there. You saw, and Ty, I don't know whether you made it or not.
I've been previously. I was out of town this past weekend.
But we had, I had to write their names down here, but Susan Alexander from Chicago,
Wonderful.
Vicky's sister. She announced those players' names. She announced them before each game. I mean, lots of times you'll announce Marshall County the first time they play, but you don't second.
Well, and not just the starters either. I mean, she did the full line.
Everyone. And I was sitting there watching the expression on those athletes' faces.
Oh, they couldn't
wait. As they ran out there on the floor. And ours, I mean, you and Vicky, Eli went right out there. Our cheerleaders, I thought, well, I was standing there and I was going to tell them where to go. I didn't have to say a word. They took off out there. But
they're like, get out of my way. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we had a great time. Some other people I'd like to mention, we had second region officials. And lots of times when you go to a tournament, you don't have those regular high school officials. And we had Hank and Donnie Mills and Stevie Scott and April Schrum. Now, Hank and Donnie and Stevie remember when I was coaching JV.
And they still came anyway. How about that?
But we had to stop them from telling too many stories.
You know what, though? I am going to tattle on Hank a little bit because I looked at him and I was kind of picking at him before we left. And I said, you know what? Did I hear you say you had already signed up for next year? And he goes, absolutely, you can sign me up for next year. Go right ahead. And we sure appreciated that because he really enjoyed it. And he's already signed up to do it again next year. So that's awesome.
Johnny Bird from down in Marshall County, their coach, he's been there for years and years. And he's kind of the one that helps us along. And he helped coordinate the tournament. I mean, Vicky did all the work. Throw this in Friday afternoon. I got to the middle school around 4 o'clock. Steve Smiling, the ladies there in the office, they accommodated us, helped me get the bleachers out, the scoreboard set up, and again, mention Lowell Jewell. He came out of retirement to run the clock. Next year, he's going to make sure he brings him a cushion.
There you go.
I mean, you sit there 13 hours or so.
Get a little stiff.
Yep. And so he's bringing a cushion. But those individuals, everyone, the sock factory brought in socks for all of our athletes. And Little Caesars donated pizzas. So, this community, the support we had, I just can't really describe. Share something else. Last night at practice, Vicky was telling us, well, she got an email from the head of the Special Olympics Committee here in Kentucky that the Louisville coach had sent them an email. Well, normally when you hear something like that, you think, well, something's wrong.
Uh-oh.
We did something wrong. he sent her this email, and he said we were the friendliest people that they had run into, and that his athletes loved it. They had a great time. They had fun. And you're talking traveling from Louisville to come down here and play. That's a long way.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this too. You probably saw it. You were helping coach, and our gold team played. Well, immediately after our gold team had finished, Louisville team was going to play. Well, the coach came over. He said, "Coach, I got something I want to talk to you about." So he pulled up a picture of a basketball. His daughter had epilepsy, and the regulation basketball was a little too heavy for his players. And he said, "Are you familiar with muscle memory?" And I said, "Yes, sir. I coached for several years, and muscle memory is one of my big things." and he said, he showed us a picture of a basketball, lightweight, that we can use for our younger players to teach them proper techniques. Showed it to Vicky. Vicky ordered it. She also ordered us a basketball with the palm prints with the fingers on it for right-handed and left-handed players. Yesterday during practice, we used those basketballs for our gold team. Some of those boys, Bentley, Mateo, they were able to make baskets. So, they helped us out, something I hadn't thought about. So,
but that's, that's one of the beautiful things about it. When you come together and you bring people that want to help and those ideas together. We were talking about that at the tournament when he had, we were all kind of talking about that. And I looked at you and I was like, you know what? That could be the difference in Eli ever trying to shoot it.
That's it.
And dribbling it is you would be surprised the weight of the ball, what difference that can make. And just getting them started doing it, that confidence and the muscle memory, that's where it comes along at.
And that was one of the things we discussed was Eli, you can explain about Eli and what he did there. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, and even before the game, before we went over and we, you coach the kids and you want yours to be, to be involved as well. And one of the things that I will say, Roy Jean has always made sure that every kid got to shoot and do what they needed to do to make them feel like, $1 million. And I looked at him and I said, I don't think that's not Eli's thing. His thing is he wants to be the guy that brings the ball down the court. Right. I mean, he's Mr. Point Guard, not necessarily Mr. Shooter. He wants to bring the ball in. And, this is a kid that 2 years ago, he wouldn't sit on the bench. But maybe 2 or 3 minutes and he was out the door. He wanted nothing to do with it. And now not only does he sit on the bench, but now he's ready to jump up and bring the ball in. You don't have to tell him to go over to half court where the ref is with the ball waiting on him. He just goes over there and does it. This is a kid that is involved and that never used to be and never used to want to be.
Well, we were playing Murray. And Eli brought the ball down, and it was like the parting of the Red Sea. It was the Red Sea, wasn't it?
Awesome. That's right, yeah.
All right. Well, Murray's players just stepped back and let him go right on towards the basket, and he handed the ball to Braden, and, we got a shot. The other thing, we had 3 players that this year so far had not made or had not shot the basketball. They hadn't even got to shoot.
Right.
Murray had 3 players. So at the beginning of the fourth quarter, technical fouls were called on the bench, and all 3 of Murray's players got to shoot, and 2 of their players made it, all 3 of ours, and 1 of ours made it. So, that's what it's all about. It was a great tournament. Honestly, no one had any complaints. No. Nothing.
And I do want to thank, too, we had the mayor was there, Cody Young was there.
Daniel.
Coach Kukihiko was there. We had Coach Riley was there. So, we really had a good turnout of not only city officials, but Brother Mark Fawn was there. We had Brother Sherrills. There was a lot of them that were there that didn't necessarily have a child that they were related to that was playing, but just come out to really support
the volunteers that showed up.
Right. We had teenagers working milking it the whole time. And
selling
not
that
because they had
popcorn
to.
But we had volunteers from the community. I'm not going to call names because I'll leave somebody out. But they were there. They came in and helped with whatever needs we had. We started cleaning up right after our game, and by the end of the last game, it was another 30 minutes and we were out of there.
And, of course, it's a way for us to showcase Caldwell County and Princeton as these teams come from all over to come. Now, the last several years, this has been hosted here at Caldwell County. Is this one of those things that's going to move around some, or do you anticipate it's always going to be hosted here?
We go to Ohio County tomorrow, which is first time that we've traveled that far. But we're in the first district, first region, which runs all the way from Fulton to right outside of Elizabethtown. And we play in 3 weeks, we play at Bowling Green for the regional tournament. And again, our blue team has been moved up, so we're more competition. But this tournament will stay right here.
Okay.
And as you said, our official said, yes, we'll be back. Susan Alexander comes in from Chicago. She was here last year. She'll be back. And we are looking, we've got other teams that have already contacted Vicki about coming next year. So we may have to look for another gym.
Wow.
I'll tell you, it's a great problem to have.
Yes.
No, it really
Honestly,
is.
yes.
God bless them, because, we've got a community that really kind of rallies around not only the tournament, but the kids. And, I call them kids because they're all my babies. I love them to death. But, we go beyond basketball. We've got track and a lot of other things that are going on.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, you want it to be successful. And I think it's been wildly successful, but I think it's been because our community really loves these kids.
And as I said before, when we were on the air, when you go to Louisville to the tournament, lots of times you'll talk to coaches from other areas, and they're struggling to get sponsors or to get, to come to the tournaments. Here, if you looked at the back of that shirt for our sponsors there, it was full. And then, like I said, those that made contributions. Well, Matt Rogers. And, from up in...
my old classmate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt, when we go to Louisville, he and Vicki are there, and here's $100, take kids out to eat. So, it's great. We love it. The support we have from this community is just...
I'm going to tell you what, you want to feel like a rock star, you go to the store with one of these kids from Special Olympics, you'll feel like a rock star, because everybody talks to them, they really do make over them, and that makes all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world.
And you were there the first day of practice, and we announced, we said, the only thing we want to do is to make sure that your athlete is better at the end of the season than he was or he and she were at the beginning.
That's already happened.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Mikey, Mateo, Bentley.
Oh, the little guys,
they're little.
They couldn't dribble at the beginning of the year, and I'll tell you, there's a couple of them that wouldn't even try. No. And they look at me and say, "Oh no, I can't." And I was like, "Oh yes, you can." And so we did, and that now they do, and now they know they can, and they want to, and I think that's a huge difference.
And these special training basketballs that Vicki has ordered as well.
Right.
You get them on that, get their form worked out where they'd place their hands, and then of course the lightweight. By the time you put the regulation size basketball there.
They're ready.
They're there.
Bentley's mother was filming Andrew. Andrew was one of ours that came in from Dawson. Andrew's about, 6'4"? 6'5".
The green giant. I'm telling you, he is tall.
And he, yesterday, we had Jeff and Lisa were on one end working with a group, and Andrew went with me to the other end with this light basketball. Well, here's Andrew, 6'4", 6'5", and here's Bentley,
right?
Who's about 3'4" or something like that, or
Right.
4 foot, and he was helping him shoot, and his mother got the video of that. So it's our older kids, our more experienced athletes are helping our younger ones, and it's just a great thing.
Oh, I looked at you actually at the tournament the other day, and I said I couldn't believe it. I said that moment right there made everything else that I did all year long worth every bit of it. And I hated that Eli was sick and we didn't get to go to practice yesterday because I was going to make sure that I talked to him about it. Little Sarah, she's one of our little cheerleaders, and Leslie is, of course, she can't see, she's blind. Right. And she's one of our cheerleaders. And little Sarah would make sure that she ran and got her something to drink,
Right.
brought it to her,
Yes.
made sure that it was turned just so she wouldn't get anything on it. She would go run. And Leslie never even had to ask for a drink. She was always asking her. And Sarah is just a little bitty thing. I mean, she's not, 18 years old or anything like that. She's young. And I said, for these kids to help each other, I'm telling you, they do more for each other than anybody does.
So let me mention our cheerleader sponsors or coaches. I mean,
right. And they had on uniforms, Roy Jean, with these giant yellow bows in their hair. They were so cute.
But our coaches are there at practice. Our coaches go to the games, and they are there with our cheerleaders. And we get a lot of compliments about our cheerleaders being at the games, and they're great. I mean, it's super. I got to mention we got about 22 shirts left. Those are on sale for $10. You can get in touch with Vicki out there at the elementary.
And you know what? The money goes for things like basketballs and things like that when we need it,
And our travel expenses. And the referees we had, nobody would take any pay. We offered to pay them, no. So we got them thank you notes and gift certificates. Mention one other thing. When Mr. Lee Oliver came out, he came out kind of early and we were not playing yet. Well, he was sitting up in the bleachers about, 4 or 5 rows up. And so he was going to leave and come back. And as we were assisting him in coming down, well, here comes a Murray coach and here comes Marshall County coach. They help him. So can't ask for more than that.
I'll tell you, we've got some great people and some great kids. And one of the things that we always said that was one of the end goals in any of the sport that these Special Olympics kids do is to make sure that they represent our county all the time in a proud way and make us proud, and they do.
Yeah. I mean, Marshall County is the cream of the crop. They got 3 teams. And, they have helped us a great deal. They have supported us and we support them. But I'm going to have to put our athletes right up there with Marshall County now. Their behavior, the way they act on the court, off the court, you can't ask for any more than.
Well, they're reminded that, look, you're representing Caldwell County, and they take that very seriously.
So.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate y'all having us on.
Hopefully more and more.
Right. We got, like I say, we got Ohio County tomorrow, Marshall County next week, and then Bowling Green the week after that, and hopefully Louisville after that.
State bound.
Fantastic.
Going to bring home the gold again. I love that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Roy Jean Rogers of Caldwell County Special Olympics, and getting us up to date on the fabulous tournament that was held here last weekend here in Caldwell County, Tess, and the great stuff that's coming up.
Oh, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate it.
We certainly do.
8:42. Hey, we got some more basketball on tap. Coming up next.
And a bunch of other stuff, yeah.
I love it. Come on back with us. Coffee Talk in 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. It's fog and drizzle this morning. Could hear a clap of thunder as well before lunch, a high near 42, and then scattered light rain. A few flurries possible overnight tonight, a low down to 31. Cloudy tomorrow, a high near 39, and then that 30% chance of rain for Sunday, a high 43. Outlook for the beginning of the work week. Sunshine returns as we kick off the work week, a high near 45. Again for today, fog and drizzle this morning. Thunderstorm, little clap of thunder before lunchtime possible, a high 42. Currently it is cloudy, and we're holding steady at about 43 at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Jeff Russo, attorney at law.
There's an advantage in being the home team. You know who. Emma Talley, Jake Lewis, and Pat Gates are. You've seen the wall around Butler Stadium and have heard of the Caldwell Crazies. Trice Hughes. We're your home team. Here's our home team deal of the week.
2018 Buick Regal, 13,000 miles, Trice priced at $269 per month for 72 months.
Get this home team deal of the week at Trice Hughes. Find us on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or tricehughes.com.
YourSportsEdge.com. We promised a new day in local sports coverage, and we delivered. But don't take our word for it.
The ability for local sports athletes to be covered and for information to be sent out to our local community, and I just think it's an absolute awesome tool.
It means Tree County High School. It means our students and most importantly our athletes in the high school competition.
YourSportsEdge.com.
103.3 WPKY, Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk. And hey, we've got somebody in the house that's talking my language, Ty. Who is this?
All right. We welcome George Barber. He is the District 6 deputy for the Knights of Columbus. That includes Hopkinsville, Fort Campbell, Oak Grove, and Princeton. And, of course, the Blessed Trinity Council of Princeton, Dawson Springs, and Eddyville. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Glad to have you here. And, of course, we were talking out in the lobby, a connection to the Special Olympics.
Yeah. Well, first thing I want to do is just recognize Andrew. Yeah. Andrew's one of my fellow Knights. As a matter of fact, Andrew's the outside guard for our council. And
I can see that.
He gets all excited. He's super. He is really special. And he and his granddad, Dave Cooley, are really great supporters of, participants and supporters of the Special Olympics and the Knights both. So we were just talking to them last night, had our meeting, and they were talking about it. I didn't realize this as much, but that Hank and Donnie and Steve are also Knights and spent. I think he said they spent up to eight hours or better, coaching and officiating for that Special Olympics, and they really had a great time bragging about them and complimenting them. And also, I got to put a plug in for Hank, and we sponsor. Hank set it up and started it, and we helped him sponsor it with the Knights of Columbus, the Tradewater Fitness Challenge out there, and that happens on Labor Day weekend. And I think Hank also, I know he did, I think it was at that basketball, he donated $500 to his local Special Olympics that came out of that project. So, he and Donnie and the guys in Dawson that are members of the Knights do a great job. Both.
He did a wonderful job. You talk about fun. Always has so much fun. It is really... It's kind of neat because especially like with Special Olympics players and that sort of thing, they're not around the referees as much. Mm-hmm. And it kind of makes them nervous. And he takes those nerves away from them.
Yeah, he does a great job.
He really plays with them
and
has so much patience. Mm-hmm. And that's on and off the court. So, I mean, in between games, he'll pick at them and play with them. Yeah. And he really knows how to kind of take that guard and get the nerves to settle. Mm-hmm. And at half the time, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah, and then you put Andrew in there with him, and you got
We have a ball. Andrew is new this year to our team, and we've loved him, and he takes direction really well. He plays really well. Yeah. And I call him a jolly green giant. He is pretty tall. But I'll tell you, he's so good, and he's 110% at all times. Yeah, is. We love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really great. Well, I guess what I really came to talk to about was the Knights of Columbus free throw. Basketball free throw that we're going to have this weekend in Dawson Springs. It'll be...
Talk about muscle memory.
Oh, yeah. So we'll be starting from 7:30 to 8, till 10. Or if we have to, if somebody's still there going, we'll go as long as they need to.
I start to say, if it only takes 30 minutes... Now, they need to practice.
Yeah. No, it's anytime, show up anytime between 7:30 and 10.
That sounds good.
It's open to kids from 9 to 14, both boys and girls.
Oh, wow, yay.
Yay. And so it's a girls' competition and a boys' competition. And they compete separately. The girls aren't competing against the guys aren't competing against the girls. The 9-year-olds aren't competing against the 14-year-olds. So each age group and each gender group, compete separately.
Right.
They get 3 practice free throws and then 15 shots.
Now, is this 9 or 10-foot goals?
They're 10-foot goals, but for the 9, 10, and 11-year-olds, it's a 12-foot free throw instead of the normal 10.
Okay, I gotcha.
Normal 15-foot. So
Okay.
they get to shoot a little closer for the younger group.
Okay.
And then the older groups, it's a regular 15-foot from the goal and 10-foot goals.
Okay.
Basketballs are regulation girls basketball size for the girls, and so that's all set up that way. And they'll get to shoot. If there are ties, they shoot another 5 free throws to break the tie, and keep shooting sets of 5 until a tie is broken. Whoever and so in each of the age categories, and there'll be a trophy or award for each group.
Sounds good.
Do they advance up to, if they win? There's like a district competition.
This advances all the way to international competition. Which the Knights are an international organization. It's not just the United States. It's Canada, Ukraine, Poland. It is an international organization, and so what happens is we've actually throw the basketball free throw from local council to district, region, state. Once above state, they send in their score sheet, and that's how they compete at the international level. The score sheets are turned. Which reminds me, when you come, you will need to bring a proof of age, a birth certificate or something like that, because that birth certificate or proof of age will have to go with your score sheet up through each competition.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
So that way we can make sure. And if somebody's like 8 and will be, it's supposed to be age as of 1 January. If they're 8 and they're going to be 9, the 5th of February or something real close like that, right, we'll let them go ahead and shoot. They can't shoot in the 9-year-old if they're going to be 10.
Right.
But if they're underage by a month or so, we'll let them, give them a good shot, give them a chance to play with it.
Now your hoop shoot is held in Dawson Springs.
Our hoop, and the district and the region's going to be held in Dawson.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. See, the region, it's the Knights regions are kind of based on the diocese, the Catholic diocese. Right. So the Owensboro diocese is our region, and that runs from basically pretty much Elizabethtown west. Mm-hmm. And Princeton is pretty much centrally located in that western Kentucky area. So instead of somebody from Fulton having to go all the way to Elizabethtown, we've kind of organized it and volunteered and to do it locally here.
Now, is that the high school gymnasium in Dawson?
Yeah. They've got 2 or 3 little gyms there in Dawson, but if you just go to the high school gym, they'll get you and steer you to the right place.
Okay. That's a neat place.
Yeah, it is.
Place to play.
That's a fun place to do basketball. And then give us the times of the hoop shoot again, when they need to arrive. Is there like a pre-registration, or they can just show up between those times at any time?
Show up between those times. Earlier the better. That gives us a chance to kind of get everything straight. But we'll stay there till 10 o'clock. Okay, we'll be there till 10. And if you can get there a little earlier, the better. That gives us a chance to get things wrapped up and get everybody taken care of. Registration forms will be there. All they need to do is they'll fill out the registration form when they get there, show proof of age, and then we'll give them a chance to shoot. The only thing they may want to do is they may want to be able to stay there till close to 10 in case there's a tie.
Right.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
That's that's one of the things you want to be available or be work with the guys who are running it.
Right.
And you may end up seeing Hank and Donnie.
That is awesome.
But so in case there is a tie, because we won't know there's a tie till close to 10 o'clock. So when everybody's had a chance to do that, and then we'll take the score sheets and proof of age, and I think we're looking at the end of February for both the district and the regional. competitions. And then in March will be the state competition, and I'm not sure where that's going to be yet. But I think we're looking at the like the 20. I won't say because it's not locked in, but I think we're looking at the last 2 weeks of February, and they'll know for sure, and keep everybody posted and keep you in touch for when the district was. The district one will be between the winners of Hopkinsville, Princeton, the Blessed Trinity Council, Oak Grove Council, and the Fort Campbell Council. And that'll be the competitors for the district level. Okay. The region level could be any schools from, like you say, from Elizabethtown, west.
At the diocese level.
At the diocese level, and that, like I say, that'll also be here right now. As we've got it scheduled right now, we'll be in Dawson Springs also.
Well, I alluded to it earlier, but even outside of basketball, there was something else that he had that was tempting.
Oh, yeah.
That sounded awfully good.
You're going to transition to food now, aren't you?
I am.
But the
I was going to put in I want to put in a plug for the guy, Jim Hillerick in Dawson. Is the guy who's heading up the free throw program. Jim does a great job. Jim's just, he's another one of those guys that's involved. As a matter of fact, right now I was trying to call him this morning, and he's up in Louisville with a school bus load of kids doing some kind of program, and Jim is constantly, he's hard to get a hold of.
Jim's family, though, is very devoted to the special needs community. Laura,
Laura,
of course,
yes.
She's actually
she's
a teacher here at
special ed teacher
Caldwell.
at middle school. She's a special ed teacher to middle school, And I think Jim was a special ed teacher.
Well, Jim was very instrumental up at Hilltop School, and we had it right up here at Linton Way for many years, and devoted night and devoted to special needs kids, and of course you're a former educator as well, and it is certainly. Special to lots of folks, and Jim does a fantastic job, and has for many years. So with that, Tess, here we go. It is, of course, we're coming up on Lent soon, and the Knights of Columbus, this Blessed Trinity Council especially, is known for their Lenten fish fries out at St. Paul. So tell us about that.
Well, we'll be starting at, I think that's the 28th of February.
Yep.